sorry, had to put you on pause like I said I would. Now, this may say Joe Sonia's retarder medium, but it's not. It's distilled water. I'm just using the bottle to store it. And the difference, I think I may have said it before, between using distilled water or tap water. Distilled water doesn't have the chemicals that tap water does, and doesn't interfere with the paint, therefore. This is Urban Crafter, the same makers as the paint. Slow dry medium, which just doesn't allow the paint to dry out too quickly because before you've had a chance to work with it. You're going to ask me percentages on how much of this and how much of that, and I'm going to tell you I don't know because I never work out percentages. I didn't even know I had this. Urban Crafters polyurethane matte varnish. Interesting. Anyway, yeah, even when it comes to cooking, yeah, I don't measure. I never have. I always eyeball everything. I seem to get it right though, so that's the main thing. Now, if you can see, I'm mixing the yellow up real good. So there's no, see how that, on the end of that brush, that's just paint that's not, see, hasn't been mixed in well with the water and the slow dry medium. So we just mix. Now, with these mottling layers, you can do as many or as little as you want, and it just depends on the artist. Not all artists are the same. What I'm going to do after this layer of mottling, once it's dried for 24 hours, I'm going to come back and I'm going to start doing skin layers, skin tones, whatever you want to call it. Just all different ones until I get what I'm looking for. So, and I won't do it the same every time either. It depends on, I don't know, a number of things. The doll kit I'm working on, the age of the doll or kit is representing, my mood, a lot of factors. It depends on a lot of factors. And so, as you can see now, I'm mixing the green in with the yellow. It really hasn't altered the yellow that much, so that's good because that's what I wanted. I didn't want the green to be overpowering the yellow. That was not my aim. So it just looks, I don't know if you can see, just looks like that. And if you run it down the side of the bowl, you can also see mottling layers I do not do that are too heavy in paint. There's a little bit more green sort of floating around there, which we want to also make sure it's Geez, I'm doing well today. Well mixed. Goodness, what's wrong with me? We're using a different type of sponge this time. This has been used for yellow before. The holes are smaller on it, and it's not the same. Well, it's not the same type of sponge as the one I used before. I think I've overloaded it. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. No biggie. It is actually if I get it all over my nails. Should have put 2 gloves on. Anyway. Alright, we'll do an arm. Sorry, again. Bit of a cough and a sneeze. I think it's also because it's getting quite late in the afternoon, and even though I've got the split system on and happening, and it's relatively warm in here, I haven't got it on high because then I've got to go back out, face the elements of the weather, and to get back inside the house. So I don't want it to be like I'm coming out of a really warm place and then going out into a cold place. That's 3 times in a row. Sorry guys. Oh, it's good. Not going to talk. Oh, it came off. And pickles. I'm going to load him up right now. This is ridiculous. I'm off on another coughing spasm. Okay, to continue on. Hopefully I don't have any more coughing episodes. This has been left to dry overnight, so the last layering was the butter, wasn't it? The yellow with a touch of green. So you can see there's no green on it or anything. It's just a different tone, right? Or it tones things to reds down. So now I'm not going to do any more mottling on these limbs or babies. I have two options. I can either do veining, or I can commence the skin layers and then do veining. What I think I will do though is veining, so that the veins will not look like too prominent. They'll have the skin layers on top of the skin, or flesh layers, whatever you want to call them, on top, and it'll make the veins look like they're just beneath the skin. So seeing that we've still got this paint here that we mixed up, the blue, and did a blue tone or a blue mottling over it, I'm just going to use that to do the veining, and I'm just going to find the correct brush and I'll be back and we can start. Now this paint was mixed up weeks, not days, weeks and weeks ago, right? So you can see it's still alive, but what's happened is some of the ingredients, I suppose you could say, or whatever mediums I put in there have evaporated a little bit, but that's still good to use. So I'm going to thin it down with the slow dry medium again. Now if you were to do more dolls, like more kits after this one, wait, I don't know what you were doing there, but anyway, you can still use this paint, there's nothing wrong with it. So I'm just going to put in some more distilled water. Now if I don't like that particular colour blue, because veins aren't really blue, have a look at your own. They're sort of a combination of green blue. I just put on this paper, I don't know whether you can see it there, to see what consistency. Not bad, but I would put a touch, just a touch of cyan, no, that's cyan blue. Actually, is that a green? And I am mixing paints up again. No, that's blue. Alright, so I would prefer a darker green than the one I used yesterday. Just trying to see where I put things. Emerald, there you go. Emerald's a pretty dark green, as you can see. And it's from the same brand. Give it a shake. Now, so I'm only doing veining and I'm leaving it overnight again for 24 hours. I'm finished the silicone, oh thank God, and he can go over to Netherlands. So we'll work all that out. It's a nice green actually, this emerald, for veining. If you need to mix more in, then you can. When I think how long it took me, to find the correct air dry paints, and I've still got Genesis here. That's how non-confident I was, and I kept thinking, well, I may still need to go back to Genesis heat set paints, because I think it's because when you've worked with them successfully for years, you get a bit skeptical about change. Change is always, some people don't mind it, I suppose, but some people, like me, are a bit reluctant because you just don't know what that change will bring about. So when I started working with these, I thought, oh wow, you know, what a difference. I just can't believe it. And then I just tried everything I knew to see whether I could make them wear off or wash off or whatever. And it wasn't happening, and I thought, oh, I think I might be onto something here. But then it was trying to find the correct mediums. And, you know, as I said, I'm not one that works with measurements and that. I eyeball things, so as I'm doing right now, I'm just taking my time mixing this because I don't want any of those little lumps that are going to cause me headaches when I put it to the vinyl. This seems to be taking longer than I want. So I'm going to, I'll change colour, you can see that. Just putting it alongside the other one that we did before, and it is more green. So, in other words, greener, but it's still blue. I'm just going to put you on hold because I don't want to keep wasting the battery. And I'm on borrowed time there with the battery. And there seems to be quite a few lumps to work out here. Which is a pain, isn't it? I think we might be right, guys. So I'll quickly get on to doing some veins. Take the excess off. Just wipe it off on your, I don't know whether you can see there. On your, I was going to say tea towel. Your napkins. We need a clean sponge. I don't know if that's got any paint in it. No, that's all right. Stay there. Right. Everyone does veins differently. This is just my way. I don't like thick veins that are going to show up through layers and layers of paint. Go around the little ankle bone, and then the other side as well. And then I'll just get my sponge and blot it in. Not taking it off, I'm blotting it in. Now, some people will go all the way, and I think that you can overdo it as well. So I don't want that. Where these little toes are curled is interesting because you can bring your vein down and it can extend over the little curls of the toes, the curled toes. It looks so cute. Now that vein is, oh, so is this one, a little bit too intense. I don't like intense. Also depends on how I'm holding my brush as to, do I get thicker or thinner veins. But you can see, because I've watered them down so much, they're not real intense. At this stage, if you wanted to hurry things up, you could use your hairdryer to, there's a hair there, to speed things along. I don't bother. They'll dry. And it's once I've got this colour out, if there's anything else I want to do in this colour, now's the time to do it. And you're going to say to me, well, what else? Well, sometimes behind the knees, between the little toes, just to give them that darker look. Like that. I'll turn the little foot over. This isn't a very young baby, so I'm not giving him the thin skin look under the feet as I would with a newborn. And just a little bit, so little you don't even see it properly. And then just behind the knee, now I'm running out of paint. I might just put a little bit there. As I said, nothing dramatic. I don't want anything dramatic. I want everything nice and natural. I might just put a little bit on the fatty bit here. Right. It's so vague that you don't even know that it's there. If you can see that. There we go. And just a little bit more there, sorry. My mind is racing as I'm doing this onto different things. Sorry, I've got it out of your sight. I'll turn it in a minute. It's just that my veining is not coming up the way I want it to, and you've only got a certain amount of time to correct it. And that's what it looks like. I don't know if you can see there. Me and cameras. Remember, we don't get along too well. Oh, I'm surprised I'm even still doing it. But that's about the extent of the veining I would do. I would not do any more than that. That's ample. Alright, so I'm going to do the rest of the limbs. And, I'll do the other leg and then I'll show you an arm and I will show you the head. So, now onto the head. I've already prepared my brush, but we'll see. Again, you can do as much or as little veining, or detailing anyway, of any kind, as you choose as the artist, right? So, the one thing is to remember is not to have your veins straight, because veins are not straight. They're more inclined to be wavy. So I'll just put another, I'm using the very tip of the brush to make it a fine vein, but then I might just change the brush to thicken it up in other places. And I'll do that. Time for a new sponge. I think this one's getting a little bit too worn out. Stay there. Ah, that'll do. Okay. Now, again, if it was a younger baby and I was up to this stage, I would do this thinning skin along the temples. Hope you can see what I'm doing. And wherever else skin is thin on a newborn. But these are not newborns. This particular kit isn't representing a newborn. So I'm just doing veining. I haven't yet decided whether I'm going to do rooted hair or painted or with the pencil, the Prisma. Is it Prisma? I think it's Prisma pencil. We'll decide that later. Now just here on the side, might just bring a couple of little veins there. And to the back of the head, I just sort of do one that a little bit thicker than what I've been doing. Oops. And blot it out. Now the other places where I would put blue and a sleeping-eyed baby would be along the line there, that's where the eye's shut. You can see that. Or am I out of focus? Does not surprise me. Yep, okay. You don't need it a whole lot. I would do the other eye as well. And just along a very, very light amount from the corner of the eyes over the bridge of the nose. Hardly visible, and that's fine. Then I would just give it a blue tinge on top of the eyelids. Blend that in. The other side. Just make sure that you don't miss any area. And you just judge whether you need to put more or less on. I do the insides of the nostrils. Actually, this vein here I could just increase a little bit. Didn't actually work, which means I need to pick up more. So just very lightly. The other area where, I will do more blue work is inside the nostrils, right to the back. Give some depth. And I'm not one to drill out nostrils. So I'd rather do that, and I've just got it all over the place. Not to worry. Inside the mouth, just a little application. If you get it on the lips, it's no biggie, but I would take it off. And then, just notice that one side is a little bit more intense than the other. Alright, inside only the very, very inner part of the ear, just there. I've lost my sponge. And just blend that in as well. You will come back with your blushing and whatever, and you're still going to go over it, so it's not going to stay blue. It'll just show up as a dark area, which is exactly what we're aiming for. And do this side as well. It's just there. And come back with your sponge. Actually missed a part here. And you can see I don't dip my my brush in the paint all the time, because it's this ample paint on it. Just gonna get something which is better than the brush at the moment. And I just want to thin this out. And if it fits in there, I have got smaller applicators. Oh, that's okay. And here. That's it. It did get in, but I have got smaller applicators. I'm just, here they are, right in front of my eyes. I'm going to put a little bit of distilled water on the end of it. And I'm just going to come in here. That's what happens with your smaller ones. They break. No, it just happened to be a weak one. Alright, so let's try it again. And I'm just going to come in here and just thin this down a little bit. I think that it's just a little bit overdone. This side's not too bad, but there we go. Isn't that better? If you really... Why are these breaking? If you really, really wanted to... yeah, just as well they're not expensive. Really remove it. Maybe it's just so deep here. You could put paint remover on it. Paint remover I use and swear by. Just got it all out onto the corner there, which I'm not happy about. Try something a little bit thicker. Yeah, that's better. There we go. Beautiful, brilliant. Sorry, yeah, the paint remover I use and swear by is the Reborn paint remover. Simple, isn't it, really? Oh, I'm going to drop it. Reborn paint remover, right? I can't remember where I bought this last. It was one of those Reborn supplies places. Could be Aussie Reborn Supply. It could be. Or it could be Anne's what is her name? Anne's Reborn Supplies. Just do that. It might come up on Google. But anyway, one of those, do sell them. And so it's the best one. I have removed layers and layers of paint. If I wanted to strip a kit completely. Oh, this is done. And yeah, it was really great. So let me just go ahead now with these veining. Now, because the little fingers are clenched, what am I doing? You can put the veins over the top of them. If you clench your own fingers, you can see that the veins will go over the top of them. Let me just do the same here. The other hand's been done, so I hope you can see. Might have got a... Oh, I knew that. I knew that was too full. Take that off because it's just too much paint on the brush. And what I like is that the veins look fake, not really in your face. You can do a Y, or you can do two parallel lines. Blot them out. I don't think I'm going to do anywhere else, really. Blue is not a colour you muck around with and experiment with, because you could really, really end up having to do a lot of work to get it right again. Okay, so I will leave that as is, continue with the other kits, and then I'll be back to show you our next step. Running a bit late today. I had a visitor stay over for a cup of tea. That is my phone, but where is it? I got it there. Okay, so I forgot this uncovered. Where is it? all night. It hasn't dried out, and you can see it's still quite all watery. So we'll put that away before I forget it again, and that was what we did the veining with. Okay, so you're done. Now I want to show you something before we go on to the next step. I am freezing, guys, even though I've got the split system on. There's beautiful blue skies and sunshine out there, but you would not believe how cold it is. I think we had 3 Celsius this morning. The difference between what I did with the blue, apart from the veining, which on this little head you can hardly even see it's there, but it's there. Because this is a younger baby, I gave it the lighter skin, you know how they have thin skin around the eyes, the nose, the top lip and the bottom lip, and inside the ears. I didn't do the oh God, I got a mental block today. I didn't do the up here bit, temple. Yeah, I didn't do the temples. I thought that would be a bit overkill. This, because being an older baby, or representing an older baby, you can see clearly there's nothing there. There's no blue thinning skin there, or the only place I shaded was on top of the eyes because they're closed eyes, inside the ears for depth, and inside the nostrils. This one has got the same inside the ears and inside the nostrils, but she's got that extra bit of blue thin skin because she's a younger baby. Anyway, we are going now to do, you stay up there, Pickles, our skin tones, flesh tones, whatever you want to call them. And it all depends now what complexion you want your baby to have. Whether you want it to have peaches and cream or strawberry and cream, or whether you want a AA baby, which is possible, or a Latin baby, a Latin American or Latin whatever, a Spanish. They all have different skin tones. So Chinese, obviously, and it depends on what you want. Now, I'm not, with these particular kids, I'm not set out to have anything but just skin tones, and I'll go with the flow. So if I see one that looks okay, I'll keep it. Otherwise, I'll use a different colour to tone it up or down. Now, I'm going to start with, if I can get it out, one of my favourites actually, which, don't ask me to pronounce it. It is Yuan, I suppose it's pronounced. Brilliant. I can pronounce that part. And that's the colour of it. It's almost like a an orangey peachy colour. But it doesn't go on as an orangey peachy colour. Hang on, I better shake it. And this will be my first application, and I do it differently to the mottling. So, oh, this is a Joe Sonia's. Now, it's not Urban Crafters. I know I've got this same paint in Urban Crafters. In fact, where's that, the skin tone? That's skin tone. Anyway, it doesn't matter. You can use the two of them. You can use the two different paints on the same project, and it's not going to make any difference to the mottling, to the overall look or matte finish. So I'm just going to show you how I do it. And again, like I keep saying, everyone is different. Not everyone's going to do things the same way. And what works for one person may not work for the other. The only thing you can do is trial and error. That was our distilled water. And our slow drying medium. I'm running out of room here. pop yous up. Okay. Slow drying medium. And no, I don't measure, I keep saying. And I'm going to mix this up good and proper. It almost comes up like a bright skin tone colour, but it is quite translucent. I want to see if I can get some more of these lovely big artist sponges. I don't remember where I got them from. But I don't know why they make them little, the other cosmetic sponges. But these are lovely. Maybe Amazon. I'll have to try again there. Oops. Now this is actually thicker than I normally use. And I did think when I splurted it in that I might have been splitting in a bit too much. So might just put a little bit more water in that. Turn it down a little bit more. And give it a good mix. This doesn't seem to have those little lumpy things in there, so that's good. Yeah, I think I just added too much paint, but it doesn't matter. I'm going to use this as my base paint. I'll show you what I mean later. So, if it's a bit on the thick side, it's no worries for this time. Okay, so I'm going to do an arm. And just pop you out of the way. And start wherever you want. And I just apply it with the brush. Don't bead on me. Now, I'm not used to having paints bead on me. And then I've got this lovely big cosmetic sponge that I will use to blend it in. Now, because it's a little bit on the thicker side, I don't want any parts left with blobs of paint on it. First couple of layers of when you're doing the flesh layers, you're not going to really notice that much difference. So, and if you notice as well, I did not load my sponge up again. And I'm not pouncing on it like there's no tomorrow. It's just light pouncing. My little doggy's barking out there. They probably want to go to bed early and be fed their warm evening meal. You know, when I first saw a Reborn doll, I think it was on eBay, I just couldn't believe that people could just actually make these babies. Couldn't call them anything less than babies, and I could never imagine myself being capable of doing them. And when I took the first couple of lessons with Marlene Esseray, it was daunting. It was really daunting. I thought, oh my goodness, I don't know if I'm going to be able to. I just really, I was impressed, but I was also scared. I thought, oh my God. And she didn't give us any shortcuts in learning. It was like, you've got to do it. I'll supervise, but you've got to do it. And I thought, oh my God, how am I going to put these eyes in, and, you know, all this sort of thing. So it was really amazing to learn, but very daunting. So the idea is, don't give up. Absolutely everyone starts at the bottom and work their way up in any art. That's the result. Coming up in the thing, and it's also toning down a bit the what do you call it? The modelling. So I'll start at the back of the head, as always. I hope we're in focus. It's cameras, and I do not get along. This paint actually is beading, which is annoying because the Urban Crafters does not bead. I don't know whether the beading would have an effect on your painting. I don't think so. Then again, we live and learn. Here we go, just pouncing it all in, giving it a nice layer. So you can still see the veins, and they look just like, they're just beneath the skin, which is what you want. I'm not going to load this brush again, it's probably got enough paint on it. Okay. Oh. Yes, I just thought of something. I've got a couple of customers I've got to get back to on Facebook. One's for a doll and one's for a puppy, so I must not forget. Like I said, I've been busy today and didn't spend much time online. Now, if you want, with a sort of almost like dry sponge, it's not dry, brush, it's not dry though, of course, but it's not reloaded either. Just go over the ears. I think I told you, but I'm not sure. My Silicone baby boy finally ready to go home to his new mum in the Netherlands, which she's been so looking forward to, and I'm so glad to finish him, because that poor lady's been so kind and patient with me and been waiting since well before Christmas last year. And it's like here, it's been like one thing on top of the other happening, and me having the accident didn't help much. So, but she's been really good and patient, which is always appreciated by an artist, because you can't rush art. Well, I certainly can't. I can't work under pressure. So if someone puts me under pressure, when, or you're taking too long, I'm likely to refund their deposit and just say, look, just go and get a ready-made one, or just buy from someone else, because honestly, to me, this is a hobby, and a hobby's meant to be enjoyed. And I can't enjoy it if you're going to keep nagging me for photos, for updates, for things that I could be spending my time doing. And my time is limited. I don't only do the Reborn dolls, as I said. You know, there's other things that I do as well. So you're just going to have to, for custom orders I'm talking about, trust me, or buy one from someone else, or buy a ready-made one where you don't have to wait at all. That's my way of thinking, and I can't change that. So you can see already the lovely, beautiful, warm tone it's bringing around. So we're going to go ahead and do the same for all three kits, and then we'll be back to do the next layer. Just love these big artist sponges. Oh, they're just fabulous. I just wish I remember where I bought them from. The others are just so small, the cosmetic sponges. Not nice at all. Anyway, I decided I added a little bit more of the colour we used yesterday. So, now I'm also applying it in a different way. Like, I'm not brushing it on. I am just going to pounce it on, and it gives it a different effect again. So I'll just move that out of the way. And so it's just a light pounce. I'm not pouncing very hard because if you do, you release a lot of paint and you get that like beading, and you don't want that. So very lightly over the whole lot. And by the looks of this, I'll probably say that in as far as flesh tones go, I think this might be the last flesh tone. And then we're going to do the detailing and the blushing. Stay there, bub. Need more. And then the final skin tone, which I yet have not decided what colours I will be using for that. And there's the leg, or foot, and you can see the veins are still coming through the way I want them. I don't want them like pencil marks or pen marks. Here we go. So it's a lighter coverage. It's not as intense as the previous one. But it's a pretty colour. Quite like it. Here we go. We've done that. By golly, it's cold. I came out late. Put the split system on. And it still hasn't warmed up. Last night I think we had 0 degrees Celsius. Oh my gosh, it was like cold. Very, very cold. And like I said, we're not even into winter yet, so no doubt we may even get snow this year if the temperatures keep getting so cold. So just keep pouncing along like the same as I've been doing on the leg. You do it on the head and what other parts, the arms. Just don't leave any pools of paint or any beading anywhere. You can go over the ears as well, over the entire head. That's my cat wanting to come in here. And I would let her in, but she is so like in your face. She's beautiful, beautiful British, and she'd knock everything over here just to be near me, and I can imagine the mess. So that's why I don't let her in here, because she'd be too inquisitive. She'd want to know, you know, what I'm doing. She wants pats all the time, demands them, vocally demands them, and I thought, oh, no, better not take the chance. But she's beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful nature, and that's what I love. Forehead, we don't want to miss out on that. There we go. You can see, I think it's coming up all right. She is coming up all right. Love it. Put some on top of the eyes as well. And tone down the blue a little bit. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and do, just make sure you haven't missed any places. I'm prone to doing that. What was I saying? Oh yes, I'll go ahead and do the rest and leave it overnight, as I've been doing, and you don't have to leave it overnight, incidentally. Once it's flashed off, you can go on to your next coat. My preference is to leave it overnight, because otherwise I'd be sitting here doing nothing but painting dolls for like forever. I won't get myself away from there. So yeah, no, as long as it's flashed off, you can go on to the next layer for sure. But yeah, I'll get to you guys tomorrow, and hopefully we can start doing some detailing. Got out here a little bit late today to begin any work, so I won't be out here for very long. But I had a few babies that I had to get ready and packaged to fly out to their new homes. One's going to the US, the other one to the Netherlands. Can't remember what the other ones were going. Oh, one's to the UK, and a couple in Australia, which is great as well. So I had to get them ready. Now, if you remember yesterday, I put the Joe Sonia's paint on, direct on top of the Urban Crafters paint. As I said, there's no shine, okay, because at the moment, predominantly, this is all done in Urban Crafters. I'm not getting the right name there, or I'm terrible with names. Forget my own if I didn't hear someone calling me every 5 minutes. Anyway, Urban Crafter, I was right, yeah. Okay, so you can see there is absolutely no shine at all, okay? You can mix these paints up with golden as well, and you won't get a shine at all. And they mix well. Now you can see that the mottling also has become blended, I would call it, nice and blended in with the skin tone. And the veins, I don't know if I'll come up close whether you can see them, just look like they're just beneath the skin. I just realised I've got the wrong glove on the wrong hand, but anyway, we'll fix that. So now what I'm going to do is mix up the next layer. And what it depends on, what colours you're going to go with, is you look at them and think, right, at the moment they're a peachy colour, right? They're tending towards being a peachy colour. I don't mind that. Now we're going to keep them lighter, we're going to make them darker. I don't know. I don't think dark, no, I don't think so. I think we're going to keep with that, but alter it a little bit, okay? So I like to do at least a couple more skin layers, or flesh layers, whatever you wish to call them, and then move slowly on to whatever else you want to do. Like, you still have to do creases, you still have to do blushing, anyway, all the rest of it. So I'm going to get my little bowl, others are all stacked up here, and I'm going to work with the Skin Tone Dark and Skin Tone Light in the Urban Crafters. This is the light, and I bet you now that I want dark, I'm not going to be able to find it. It's Skin Tone Light as well, I knew that. Anyway, there's two different types. And in fact, having a look at them from here, I think this is the darker one, and I don't know why they wrote down that it's light. Oh well, we'll go with that one anyway. Now, I don't want a whole heap of paint, but I don't want too little. So I'm just, oh, I forgot to shake it again. I keep thinking tubes, you don't shake, but you do. Sometimes you just get a splurt out of fluid, of water of some kind. Anyway, need a bit of a shake. And just plop a little bit in here. And you can see it's a real little bit, it's not a lot, because, and I have a reason, put that there. I'm going to take titanium white, and it comes in the goldens. I think you can get it in Crafter as well, but Urban Crafter, but I may even have it, I don't know. I have to go through all of them to find out. So titanium white, would take a little bit of that as well. So we're going to lighten it up. Actually, I put in more than I wanted, but that doesn't matter. It's not unusual for me. I'll get you from here. Got you from somewhere. And I'm going to put in, to keep in line with the peach, I'm going to get the one that I used yesterday. It's still nice and watery. As soon as I open the bag, somehow. Come on. Oh dear. And I get my sponge, my brush that's been washed and dried. I'm going to give it a stir. And I'm just going to take whatever's on my brush. That's all, the colour that I want. Just to keep it in line with the peach. Okay, we'll put that one back where it was. Now I will mix up my distilled water and the medium that I use, the Urban Crafter medium. Get that right. The slow dry medium. That'll do. And we're going to give it a mix and see what we get here. Now, if you remember the last one, I think I put a little bit too much titanium white there. Anyway, if you remember the last one, we actually did the apply with a brush and then sponge over with a sponge. In this particular case, I'm going to do it differently. I'm just going to add a little bit more colour to this because it's a little bit too light, and I'll be back to show you how we go. Okay, back again. Whoops, change my glasses. I didn't get a chance to get out here yesterday. Got a lot of commitments, believe me. But I'm here today to do another coat. Now, a flesh layer, I should say, or coat, whatever. I noticed that now that everything's very dry, I don't mind the colour, but it's more peachy than I wanted for these babies. So I'm going to, I mixed up another colour to turn it more pink if we can. So what I did was Urban Crafters, obviously, Crafter, and I'm using a titanium rose, which is this one, right? And in combination with more of that than this, the Skin Tone Light, right? So that one just a little bit, a dollop, and that one more of. So when I say, like I said before, I don't measure, I go eyeballing things. So anyway, this is the colour that I've got, which is more pink than the other colour, and on the paper it comes very pink. Anyway, we'll see how we go. Never be afraid to experiment is what I say. And with your knowledge of, I'm using the sponge, so I'm trying to find where I got these sponges from. I will eventually. I love them. They're so big. I'm using the same one that I did previously for the previous flesh layer. So I'm just going to load this up, and I've been mixing and mixing and mixing, so there's no little specks there. You just blot it out on the paper napkin, and then I'm just going to go over it very lightly, hardly touching the vinyl. Like, the more you press on the sponge, the more paint you'll release, and you don't want that. You just want nice even coats of paint on there. So just spreading around from the bottom to the top, and as you can see, I've not loaded my sponge again. Geez, it's cold today, guys. Like, I'm out here again late, and I'm not going to be spending much time, much to my dismay, out in my studio. As I said, I have got other commitments, so I thought I'd dedicate an hour. My goodness, it did change the colour. It's lovely. just to do another flesh layer here. Yes, that's more the colour I want. I'll just show you. Of course, it's a personal preference. If you like the peach colour, then by all means, you go with that. But I just wanted more of a pinky colour for these babies. Okay, so you can, basically do whatever colour you want. I'll just show you the difference now. I've just applied one coat of the pink, well, we'll call it pink, and this is the peachy colour. I don't know if you can see or tell the difference, but I certainly can. It's really toned it down, and it's made it more pink. Now that's that one. And just get the head. Just the same with the head. I'll just put this one up there to dry, flash off, whatever you want to call it. Okay. Yep, I quite like that colour now. I'm happy with that. And if you think that, I don't think you've done that much, or you haven't when you're doing it, always compare what you've done with the flange, and that will show you the difference. There's no colouring on there. Alright, so we're going to load up our sponge again, and get a layer on here. Oh, it's a beautiful colour, that pink. It's a pale pink. It's beautiful. I believe this might even be the first time I'm using it on Reborn. So there you go. I've got so many projects waiting, waiting to happen, and all happening only in my mind because I haven't got time to put them into practice. That's too high. No, I don't think so. And it's just a matter of getting time, and sometimes I tend to bite off more than I can chew, and I run out of time, and I think, what have I done? Now I'm going to start I love my Christmas ornaments and things that I do, most of which I tend to give away. It's just for the fun of making them, but it gives me great pleasure, so I suppose that's where your reward is. I'm going to start on them soon, because I ran out of time last year. But I will be selling them on my Etsy shop as well, at reasonable prices, for all to enjoy. They are, in my opinion anyway, they're quite unique and quite different. You won't find them in the shops to buy. And for anyone who just likes that little bit of difference in what they buy, go and have a look. I'll put my Etsy link on the bottom of in the description anyway. And may as well put my Facebook link in, although I don't have one for Christmas specialties, although they'll be there somewhere in one of my other pages. Also do a lot in, because I'm into dogs, different breeds. So nice Christmas, say Chihuahua or whatever breed I find that I think looks cute, and I'll make some kind of a wall plaque or something just for Christmas. And it's just really, it's cute. Comes out well. So that's what we're going to do with all of them now. And as you can see, the colour has changed from a peachy colour to a pink, and I'm happy with that. That's what I was aiming for, and that's what I got, so I'm happy. We've still got to do detailing on here and a couple more flesh layers, so there's a ways to go. The lips, everything else. But, slow and steady is the pace with me, because I've got no choice. I've just got to do what I can do when I can do it. Alright, we'll put her over there to dry, and I'll do the rest, and I'll be back with you again, hopefully tomorrow. I'm back again. Now, before I forget, because I completely forget to tell you, If you want to continue seeing videos of my making, please don't forget to click like, and if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel. It is very important if you want to see this channel continue. Now, we have got exactly the tone I was after, which is a beautiful warm skin tone, with the application of the pink one that I did yesterday. And now we're going to do our creases. So I've got a very flat sort of, not flat but shallow, whatever you want to call it, little dish there, that'll do. And I'm going to be using the golden paints this time, rather than the Urban Crafters. It makes no difference really, they're both quite good paints. I'm using a round brush that's so old that it's lost its writing, but this is what it looks like. It's just a round brush, and I'm going to be using this makeup artist brush, which is quite firm. Actually, I would have preferred something a little bit softer than that. I might find another one. Not about the same size, but I need soft. That's softer, so we'll go for the soft one. And I'm going to mix up a little bit of, now you try saying this 10 times fast, quinacridone red. Why they can't just call it a red something or other, I don't know, but that's what it is. Quinacridone red, and it's from the Golden range. Now we don't need a lot, but some may help. Don't know whether that's actually blocked there. I'm going to just take this and... I began creases yesterday and did show you how I mixed that up, what colours, and my camera ran out of battery, which was not surprising. I was expecting it to somehow run out of battery sooner or later, considering how long the poor thing has been sitting there on the tripod and not being used. Anyway, we'll continue on with the creases today and see how we go. Okay, so hopefully all this is adjusted properly. We don't have to worry about that. Now, I'll see if I can zoom, you guys. I think. Oh yeah, here we go. Alright, so those are the creases I did yesterday. And as you can see, they're still subtle, and I want them to be subtle. A little bit more brazen or a bit more heavy on the underside of the foot, because she's got her little toes cringing down, and that would create that effect. It would, you know, it'd be deeper creases, if that makes sense. Alright, and I think I did her head. Come here, Pickles. You're not going to come on your own. So I did have an issue with the creases being a little bit too dark on the top of the eye, and I had to remove the whole lot with the Reborn paint remover and do it again. Now I've also put of that colour one coat over the lips. I've done the inside of the ears where the blue was, and wherever else there were creases. I did very vaguely on the Angel's Touch, or okay, we'll go with Angel's Touch. A little bit inside the nostrils to make it a little bit darker, and around the nostrils on the outside there. So now we are going to do the hands, which I didn't do yesterday, or arms, and continue on from there. I have got the paint already mixed up here in its sealed bag, but Oops, we did drop some. Oh well. Dropped a little bit more than I thought. Okay, so we'll just get this old used paper and put that on top there. Now, it may need thinning down, it may not, I don't know. We'll see when we start to use it how it looks. Get one of the hands down, arms I should say, and use our, did I use that to mix? I'm not sure. If it's too thick, you can add water to thin it down, the distilled water, or you can add that and the slow dry medium. I'm just giving it a good mix, and then I'll decide which way to go. It is quite dark. I've taken the excess off. Let's see. I've got, no, I knew it. Oops. Alright, let's see if we can have a look from there. I'm just going to place, now what I can see, it might be alright. That was smart, Anne. I'll try and get that off actually. I don't want it there. Looks like a bit of a saw. Just dipping it into some distilled water. Now it's still not taking it off, so I may have to use the paint remover. And then coming along with this cosmetics brush, and just blending it in. Now I think it should be okay, colour wise. Now to get rid of my mistake here, yes we do, we all make mistakes. Yeah, now, still do. So this is the one I was talking about, right? Oh, I know what's happened, you haven't. I'll just zoom out a little bit. I'm going to give it a good shake. And then just squeeze some to the very top, because I'm not going to be using a whole heap. It's only a little mistake, thank goodness. Come on. You're not going to cooperate, are you? Yes, you are. So I'm just going to pick up about that much, just on the tip there, and just go over that where I want it to be removed. There we go. Done. Just going to block that off. Maybe my little finger, my little helper. I think this is it. Just a little bit left on the bottom there. Now we have none. As you can see, it's green. Okay, so that does come in handy, because once this paint's on, it's on for good. There is no other way you can take it off. Yeah, it won't even scratch off. I've tried that in the past. So once it's on, it is on. So we're doing the next crease. Just blending it in. What I don't like to see on my babies is the real dark creases that look almost like the baby's dirty, or it's anyway, it gives me the feeling like a baby. Oops, like the baby's dirty. This is beading. It shouldn't be beading. It wasn't yesterday. They need mixing. I don't know. But as long as your final application brings about what you want, that's the most important thing. So you can see there, I hope I wasn't out of focus, sorry guys. This, got to get remembering that there's a camera there. Now we're just going to do the parts around here. Right along. Incidentally, if anybody wants to join my Facebook tutorial group for Reborns, you're quite welcome to do so. Just I'll leave the link in the description part down below. I did open a Patreon place, but I've uploaded nothing to it. So, and I'm not really familiar with Patreon. I'm lucky I even know how to do YouTube, really. And that was only through people asking me how to do that. And I can't do videos, so YouTube was the only way. And I'm grateful I learnt it, but yeah. Okay, so, whoops. I don't know what that one's doing down here. I don't need it anyway. Then we've got all these little creases in here in the palm, where once again, she's sort of scrounging her little hand into a little fist, sort of. And that sort of make them a bit more prominent. Can't be bothered redoing it again and getting it. That mistake's not coming off. I'll find a way around it. Right. So once again, just this blend. I did actually use the paint that I'm using now as a first layer on the nails as well yesterday, and it came out quite good. So would have been out here a lot earlier today, but something always seems to keep me inside. A friend of mine sent me, what was it, Snapchat videos to view her and her dogs, and I had downloaded the darn program, which I did, and then you think I could find where you sign up. You'd think that'd be your first point, that they would take you to. But no, and I went on search, and I asked, where's the sign up? Didn't take me there. So I said, right, I've wasted enough time. Sorry, darling. You're going to have to send them to me in some other kind of way if you want me to view them. Because obviously either I'm doing something wrong or their program's not all that and more. I had a dog called, a show dog called that. And I like the name. All that and more. Alright. You can see how that's, I hope you can, coming along. And it's also reddening the little fingers already. Going into the middle of the finger there, like that. and into here. So that makes them look separated. And you've probably noticed I don't work with a lot of paint on my brush. The way I see it is, if it's not enough, you can always come back and put more. And if you put too much on, then you got the problem I had before, which is taking it off. And at the very least, you waste the time doing so. So that's how it's looking. I'm quite happy with that. I'm going to put a little bit on the nails as well. Let's see if I can zoom now that I've located where the zoom is. What is wrong with you, camera? Alright. Put a little bit on the nails. I don't want a heavy layer. In fact, I'm not even dipping the brush back into the paint. I want a very, very light, sorry about that, guys. Out of focus again. Right, a very light colour. Right, whether I leave it that colour or not, I don't know. Probably not. But even if I did, it's quite a nice colour for nails, as you can see. I hope. I don't have any artificial light here on top of this desk like I did when I was inside. I mean, I could have if I wanted to. I may consider it, although having said that, I've given them away. I didn't feel the need to keep them. Got down lights throughout, and when I have them on, they seem to suffice. Don't forget, if you've got those little I don't know what you would call them, dimples, I suppose, next to the knuckles. Just a little bit of paint there to make them defined, more defined. Alright, this is all dried already. Now, if you wanted to try and take that paint off, I dare you. Don't like your chances of success. Now, this is wet and I'm able to just take it off. So that's that arm done, and I'm quite happy with the results. Oh, we'll go on to the next one. Oh, see, after this application, we can do blushing. I won't be using this. In fact, I ran out of time last night when I went in, but I wanted to go and search more for that colour. That's how impressed I was with it. The titanium rose, which is what I used on the last skin or flesh layer here. There you go. And yeah, I ran out of time as well. I just had other things to do. That couldn't wait. Yeah. Into the crease. And I've got to go back in a minute. I've forgotten how to use the program of uploading the videos for YouTube. So I'm taking a refresher course in that. So, yeah, silly me. But this is what happens when you've got like too many things on your mind. Mine's always on overload with things to do and so on. So there's only so much you can fit in there, or in mine anyway, it's running out of data. Okay. So again, probably my hand's in the way. I'm sorry, I'm doing the best that I can. Hope I can do a better sculpting video for you. Right. And you can see there's a couple of little lines just there. And we do them. And then we come to the palm. I was sculpting a little hand and that last night, just before I went to bed, and I got a mental block, and I'm thinking, oh, how is there a little fat pad just under the fingers, or isn't there? And I was going, why can't I remember? And I had to refer back to one of my, this is where they come in handy, reference photos. And yeah, sure enough it did. I was right. But I was doubting myself. I was second guessing myself. So it's no surprise I've forgotten how to use the video maker. And it's their fault too, because they were saying that they were going to discontinue it at one stage, and I probably subconsciously thought, well, then I'll forget about it. Yeah, I could do something like that. In between the little fingers, I may as well do the it's the wrong brush to be using anyway for the fingernails, but we'll get by. Don't forget the creases on there, and here. And just along here. And here. And those little dots things there on top of the knuckle. Sorry guys, I'm sort of vague today. I forget to complete my sentences. That's not good. Well, did we do that one? If you find it is too much, just blot it off. It's a bit much, looks like nail polish, don't want that. As to how you paint nails, if you were going to really focus intently on that, there's like so many different ways, and some, artists will say, oh no, they need to have the white moon shape on the top of the nail at the very top. Others, no. And really, with real babies, you get both. You can have some that, actually adults too, I think, that have it, the moon shaped white bit on the top, and others that don't. So yeah, anything goes. So we're going to do don't. Just those little creases between there. I think you've done it. Again, blend them. Don't leave them too prominent. Take off the excess. In here. And just along the side of the hand. Sometimes there is some. Like so. And that's done. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of the kids. I'm working, like I said, 3 at a time. And then I'll come back. So we won't waste too much battery time. And then I'll come back and just notice somewhere that I missed. And I'll come back and show you the blushing. You know, we're nearly the end. But when I think of how long I've been working on these kits, it's not a little bit of time. They do take time. Rome wasn't built in a day, so you can't rush these things. On the back here, there's a couple of little creases that I would have missed on the other hand as well. Just vague. And that's done. You'll have to excuse my coughing now and again, just as I thought I was over long COVID, as it's been years now. Not years without it, years since I started with it. It came back just to remind me that you're not done with me yet. Well, it's not done with me yet. I'm trying to work out a blush colour here. I've put a little bit of chili of the Urban Crafters and the Watermelon. But I'm still not happy with that colour. I think I could do with a little bit more red. Anyway, so I got one day to where I was completely out of it, sleeping 24 hours, which is horrible, believe me guys. It's not like a normal sleep, it's just like you're out, you're gone. It's like someone's giving you anesthetic. That's the best way I can describe it. Now this Golden Pile Red is what I'm going to add. It's the Goldens brand, and I'm just going to drop in a couple of drops. So I haven't actually watered it down either. And after 24 hours of that, what they call, I don't call it because I don't even go to bed, I sleep on the couch, maybe out of spite because I just don't want to give into this thing. Anyway, after 24 hours of that torture, the next day I was given a reprieve. It's retarder, medium. No, it's not. It's the distilled water. Let's set it down with that. Yeah, so after the 24 hours I was given a little reprieve. I couldn't do much because it does leave you feeling horrible. But this is a slow, dry medium, the Urban Crafters. I took advantage of that to just spend time with my dogs, grooming them and doing what I do. So I haven't been in the studio for days now. This is the first. I'm trying to adjust to this camera again. It works. Anyway, that's the best I can do, guys. It's more red now. I don't know if you can see it from there. I think you can. Maybe a little bit too thick for my liking. I should have put it in a bigger bowl, but we'll see how we go. And today I decided to sort out. They say when you're actually feeling better, that on the days that you're feeling better, everything research I've done has come up with the same answer: is don't overdo it. But the problem is that you don't know what you're going to be like tomorrow, so you try and get as much as you can done while you're feeling alive. And I'm probably wrong in doing that, but today I decided to organise a couple of shelves that I've got there with all these bling blang bling things that I will be needing as Christmas for us artists approaches earlier. We start to do things, and I needed to know what I've got, and I think I've overloaded on some, and I found out the hard way. So Peaches is back. Not Peach. Oh my God! Why can't I ever get your name right? It's Pickles. She's lucky she doesn't get offended. Now I'm just going to put a little bit on my nice big fat sponge, which are hard to find, these sponges. You get the other small crummy ones, but these ones are hard to find. I'm going to blot out the excess, and I'm just slowly going to apply it. Now, what I don't want is too much blush, and as it is, that's too much blush. But what I'm going to do is get another sponge and go over it, blend it. It will dry off a little bit, fade off a little bit when it's drying off, but I don't, I'd rather it was to begin with. And I can see I'm going to have problems with it because it's just too dark for my liking. Too dark for my liking. Nice healthy baby. I'm going to take this brush and I'm going to really take all the paint off it. Just have a little bit of paint on it. Let's see if I can fix this up. It's annoying me that it hasn't got the blush sort of coming right to the end of the nose and the little nostril, and the nostril. So there's that, and then blend it in. I mean, some babies do have gorgeous rosy cheeks. There's no doubt about that. But with my babies, I don't want them to be too red. Okay, it's drying off and it's not too bad. And we still have another skin layer to go, to put on. I'm getting my sponges mixed up. Alright, so now we do the other cheek and little nostril. And again, I'm not pouncing this hard at all. And I don't want it to be too red, as I said. Yeah, so long COVID is not fun, guys. There's a lot of different symptoms, but the most common ones are, first and foremost on the list, fatigue, severe fatigue, and molasses, or melissa, whatever they call it. And you don't escape that, believe me. It's like you get out of bed and you're lucky if you get time enough to have a coffee, and then you're out for the count. A little bit on the chin. And forgetfulness, which I've got. Brain fog, which I've got. Not much I don't have, sadly. And no one knows much about it. They are apparently still working on getting a cure for it, but just for the moment, no, there's no cure. It's just a wait and see thing, and you'll have ups and downs. You'll have times when you're feeling great, but it interferes with all aspects of your life. It doesn't allow you to have a normal day, and when you've got an attack of it, that's it. You're pretty much useless to everything, even social gatherings or interactions with your family members and things like that. So You don't want it, believe me. And mine, as my doctor confessed to me, was how did she call it? Oh, vaccine injury. Thank you. Because the first vaccine I had, which I still wonder to this day how I got talked into having them, but never mind, we won't go there now. Actually, it was my doctor's fault. She talked me into it. But anyway, I was trying to talk her out of it, and she talked me into it. So go figure. I've not had another vaccination since then. That I can tell you that without a doubt of without a word of a lie. There we go. It's a little bit too red. There's that other one. I forgot what I was saying. Can't be that important. I've forgotten it. Yeah, that's right. She actually confessed to me that it was from the vaccination, because I was like so careful, and quarantined more than I was told to, because I didn't want to get COVID. And I'm doing the ear now, guys. Okay, I'm just behind the ear. And it was like, I got the first one, I was okay. It was Pfizer, that was okay. And then when you get the second one, don't make the ears too red. It makes the baby look like he's, or she is teething. So get back on there and take the excess off. But the second vaccination, and last, I might add, was like, whoa, it's happened to me. I've I had the vaccination, came home, and within a few minutes of being home, I was sitting on the couch, and then the next thing I know, I'm asleep, gone to the world. And John goes, "Oh, I didn't realise you were that." He woke me up and he says, "Oh, I didn't realise you were that tired." I said, "I wasn't. I wasn't tired at all. I had a good sleep last night. I don't know what happened to me." And then from there on, it was like becoming more and more regular. And I thought, there's something wrong with me, and that's where it started. And I went to see my doctor, and she confessed that, it was from vaccine injury, and another 100 of her patients had exactly the same symptoms, all ticked all the boxes. I wasn't happy to hear that, I can tell you. Okay, so what do we do now? Nothing we can do but wait it out, and hopefully it will just go away. Well, I'm here to tell you that you might get a reprieve of a while, not long, but maybe you do get it for a longer time. I don't know. I thought I was over it. Good, fantastic, gone, And then all of a sudden, bang, I'm back again. I tell you, it's crippling. If I was working outside of the home, and not just talking about hobbies, but proper work, I would have lost my job by now. Oh, for sure. And a lot of people have. So anyway, that's the head done. And now as it flashes off, hopefully it'll lighten up even more, because I don't want it too dark. But we do have another skin layer, or flesh layer, to do. So if it's too light, it's not going to be any good. And as you see, I did not dip this back in to the paint for the whole entire head, and I did do the forehead as well. Right? There's little Pickle's head. Now the rest is straightforward. I hope you guys know where to blush, because it's getting late, and I don't even know that I'll be able to do the whole lot today. I'll do an arm. I'll probably do the one kit. So what I'm going to do is just a little bit, take most of the paint off on the napkin, and then just load up the sponge. And we just put a tiny amount on the elbow. I just saw a sparkle, what do you call them? A glitter. Where'd that come from? I haven't even started working with glitter yet. and then just little palms. Where it's bent over like that, leave it alone. Don't put any colour on it at all, because if you bend your finger and have a look, what happens, that joint takes on like a white appearance, so will that, because it's like bent as well. The other one's a little bit bent, so we'll just leave it. The other area you've got to watch is along the wrist. Okay. Yeah, I'm a bit concerned today because my little, which is not little, but my cat is not here to annoy me. And that's not like her. She's usually always hanging around home. Because we live country, it's always a worry. Hopefully she hasn't gone on the road or anything like that, because I'd be very unhappy. I'm taking the brush now and still getting all this off. This paint. I don't want too much paint on it. Where it closes up and opens up, I'm going to put a little bit of this red paint in there, and then I'm going to get one of these, what I call mushroom sponges, and spread it with the mushroom sponge, and it really gives a good effect. You could do that along the wrist area as well if you wanted to. I've just got a little bit too much on that nail there, which I didn't want, but anyway. So that's the effect of it. I wouldn't go crazy with blushing. Honestly don't, because once you've got it, it's hard to get rid of. So I'm going to do a foot. And I'm going to start the same way again. I am going to, I may still have enough paint on here. A little goes a long, long way, as we know. So I just put a little bit there where this opens and shuts as well. Come along with this mushroom sponge or whatever you wish to call it, and blend it in. Just like that. Another area where it blushes is at the back of the heel, on the little ankle bone area, both sides, the heel itself underneath. And you can see I'm starting to, my sponge is starting to dry out, but we'll just hang on about putting more paint on it just yet. And that mushroom sponge again. I think that once the days start getting a bit longer too, it'll help me to be out here longer too, because they're getting shorter, not longer, at this time of year anyway. So I'm going to add on a, maybe not, just a little bit more paint. And then blot it out. And we're just going to go ahead with these cute little tootsies. Just on top there. I'm leaving this bottom part untouched because, again, the little toes are curled up. And I'm just going to put very light amount on top of the foot. You can see it's light. I don't want it too dark. Now the insole, I'm going to make sure this brush is as dry as it can be. Underneath the little tootsies, you can put blush there. Just leave the top part where they're curled unblushed. This, I hope I was in focus, this fleshy part here, you can blush, and the insole, which is just down the side of the leg into the little heel. And then get your non-painted sponge, if that's what you want to call it. Hasn't got the paint on it. If you find it's taking off too much, just add it back on again. But that's about it. No, hang on a minute. I've got a little bit here that I would like to be done. But see how the bottoms, it's all white? Do you see that there? That's because she's curled them over. Okay, and just sort of have a look where you feel is needed a little bit more. But the brush is almost dry, so that's the main part that you've got to remember. I haven't picked up any more paint, and I don't want to. Okay? So that's about the extent with the leg. It's just the flex joint. That's what they call it. Isn't it flex joint? Anyway, the flexing aspect here around the ankle. Just put a little bit more there. And the little sides, the little... Oh, thanks, long COVID. Ankle bone. It's another thing that gets your words mixed up. It's shocking. And little toes, fleshy part, and that's it. Then that's it. See there, guys? And you see where the white is on the toes, just there, where she's flexing them. And that's it. Now, I am going to do... Actually, before I switch you guys off, this is already dried. Ugh. So I don't know whether you can actually see it or if the colour's coming through true to colour, but that's the extent of it. That I like to be blushed, so I don't want any more than that. Now, if you go along the ears, sorry, getting out of focus again, with your brush, just in case there's any parts in the back of the ear that you've missed before, and just touch up on them. There you go. But that's fine. I wouldn't worry or fret about that. It's a little bit darker was the first layer we put on. We can balance it out just by adding a little bit more to this side. This is almost dry, but that's it. I would not go crazy with it anymore. So next time I'm on, hopefully, God willing, I am feeling not so bad, I can come out here and I'll show you little meadows, and the other one's the same, which is little turn around, little we go again with the name, pickles. So yeah, so 2 pickles in 1 meadow, and hopefully when I finish these I can get onto some more kits. Always look forward to new kits as I'm getting closer to finishing the ones I'm currently working on. Okay guys, talk soon. Okay, back again after a few days break due to, we won't say what, you already know. Now, I'm about to do the eyebrow, and I like very faint eyebrows on my babies and not overdone. That's just my personal preference. Now, I am using an actual, it's called soft brush. It's one of those Chinese cheap ones. It doesn't matter anyway. It's very, very fine, and it's for human eyebrow, but I use it on them. It is permanent, and well, it is on them permanent. I don't know what it would be on us. And then I'm going to seal them, and that's the final stage. Now, to do the eyebrow, it's like one of the hardest things for me, I imagine for most people. So what I've done is, I've got to fix that ear too. I just remembered. I make a little mark at the corner of the eye, just like that there. The brow at the top, and then at the other corner of the eye. And then I'll do the same on this side. Corner of the eye, middle, and then the end corner. And then hope for the best. Alright, so what I do is, I hope you can see. Hang on. Oh no, I've just lost my lid. We're in a good place today. Alright, just stay there. I'll try and zoom in as best I can. lost you as I was zooming in. Okay, so I just do the very, very finest slanty lines. Very, very fine. Towards the back end of the brow, I may put in a little bit thicker lines. But that's about it. That's all I want on mine. I don't want them too overdone. So we'll do the same on this side. Very, very light. I'm hardly touching the vinyl with these lines. And these are slanting as well towards the other side. And oops, that one came out a little bit darker than I like. Luckily it's towards the back end, not the front end. Just little fine lines. You may as well darken this side now that you've done the other side that way. And what I always find the hardest is trying to get the two brows exactly the same. I'm just wiping this off with my thumb. And I might just bring that up a fraction. Just like that. Just a little bit. Yeah, that's better. And then we just allow it to dry. That's how I do my brows. But then, like I said, everyone's different. Now, I'm just here in the corner. I might just, for realism, I might have a couple that are just sort of going the other way. Just a couple of hairs. You see that? You can hardly see it, but anyway, that's how I like it. I don't like it too prominent, but that's how I do them. I'm going to let that dry, and then I'm just going to mix up my sealant, if you want to call it that, and I'm going to go ahead and seal them, and then they're done. Alright, so that's my attempt of eyebrows. Not necessarily the right way, but where are you? Yeah, that's the best I can do. I don't think anyone expects any miracles when it comes to eyebrows. Look, they're difficult. I don't know why they're difficult, but they are. Well, for me, they are. Back to show you something I forgot to show you before. I'm just zooming in as much as I can. To give it more of a 3D look, I have the same thing, but in a lighter colour. Just get rid of that excess. And what I did was just go through it over in parts, not completely. And just here, now and again, just give it the finest of lines with a slightly lighter colour. And that will give you a more three-dimensional look than just leaving it plain. That one's come down a little bit too low for my liking. So, yeah, and they're very fine, and I was probably out of focus, was I? No. But that sort of just gives you that more defined look. But babies don't have great big thick eyebrows, so that's something to keep in mind. And it's done. So those two are my eyebrow pencils, whatever they are. Okay, back again for now. I forgot that, yeah, I didn't do the hair. I am drawing the hair rather than rooting it. So much less maintenance, and it looks really lovely on young babies because they don't have a lot of hair. Like, she's a newborn, so her hair is is a lot lighter. I don't know whether you can actually see that. Like so. Then the others, that one's a little bit darker, if you can see that, like so. That's all going to get sealed as well. So I had to do that before I could come back and show you how to seal them. That's a bit lighter, even though that's still a pickle. They all sort of have their own hair do's and looks. Oh, excuse me. Right, now what I've done, this is the varnish I use. It's not made for any particular material that I know of anyway. It's AK Interactive Matte Varnish. I know that a couple of Reborn artists have shown it on their YouTube videos after I introduced it, but that's okay, that's fine. And it just says to dilute down with your own thinner or one of theirs. So I estimated how much I would need and put it in this bowl here, along with a little bit of thinners, the normal thinners that I would use for Genesis heat set paints. I've forgotten what they're called now. And now what we're going to do, we're going to get a clean sponge and we are going to commence. I would probably do these, leave them on the racks for 24 to 48 hours, and to ensure, because it's cold, we're in winter, to ensure that they are completely dry. And you don't need a vast amount. What you do need is to make sure that every aspect, every part is covered, but you don't really need a lot of it on there. And then you just get your cosmetic sponge and just dab over it, or pounce over it I should say. So I am getting a beautiful skin effect with using this sponge. I don't know whether you can see it. And it just dulls down the colours a little bit. That's neither here nor there. Once it dries, it's no alteration whatsoever. So yeah, it's sort of taken me this long to catch up with these kids, so we'll be stopping now because I need to catch up with my sculptures, my mini babies sculptures, polymer clay, and a million other things. I've got to get this studio under some kind of control as well, because you know, with the amount of stuff I'm buying, I think I've become addicted to shopping, and that's online shopping, and that's no good. So I'm going to have to pull my reins in. Right, whoops, go in there. This one. And I'm just pouncing it around on the leg. Just like that. I'm not actually taking it off. I'm just spreading it around and making sure all is covered. And yeah, that's it. I'll put that one there. So we did a leg, and we'll do the head, and that's going over the hair as well. So I still need to do eyelashes. I probably won't do them on camera. I may do rooted ones, mohair rooted ones on this one, on these three. And I picked up some tips from another Reborn artist which looked really good. I haven't tried them yet, so once I try them, if I feel it was a good, move, I'll show them to you one day, or put a recommendation to her YouTube page in the description, and you can go there and see it for yourself. She's very thorough. She's very good, I must admit. And she's got some really good tips. So share the good news around, they say. Which is why I'm not complaining about the other artists that use the same method and same product I use, which I could understand it if it was I wouldn't have said a word if it was a Reborn doll thing, but it wasn't. It's got nothing to do with Reborn dolls, this particular medium. In fact, I think it's for cars. I'm not sure exactly. I did experimental work with it before I put it out there. But like as I said before, look, it's good for everyone to know, because we're all meant to be in this together. But I just like to give credit to where credit's due. That's just me. Like I just did with oops, it's this way. Just like I did with I can't even remember her name. Whoa, that has just taken off my eyebrows. Not happy with that. If that's the case, I'm going to have to do them again. I'm not quite sure I want to seal this head of hair. If that's the case, I don't want it coming off. Doesn't seem to have an effect on the... I do use a different medium. That's right, for the eyebrows. A different pencil. So it's got nothing to do with the hair. It wasn't actually a pencil I used for the eyebrows, it was something else. I can't remember now what it was. Like a pen, I think. Go. And that's the head done. So I'm just going to continue on now, doing the rest of them, and the rest of her. They're definitely gone, so I'm going to have to replace them. And I'm going to have to choose something else to replace them with. I think probably may have to go paint, or pencil. Okay, catch up with you when I've got more. But I think for this part with the air dry paints, this will be the final video. And if you've got any questions, or you want to learn more about something, anything at all, just drop me a line and I'll see what I can do to help. Bye for now. Just thought I'd come back and show you the finished product. So that is now sealed with the AK, whatever it's called. We actually had some left over, so I just put it into one of these plastic bags, the same as I do with the paints, and I can use it next time. It's actually AK interactive matte varnish. Okay, so we've got that one on, and as you can see, in combination with the paints I was using and the technique plus the finished product, which would have been that. Not a shine, nothing. It's completely matte. Now, and also scratch resistant, fade resistant, and all the rest of it. I'm having a little bit of trouble at the moment trying to find the Urban Crafters paints that I have been using. They may be just temporarily out of stock. I don't know. I'm going to keep looking on Google and see what I can find them. But what I have noticed is, even if I can't find that particular brand, there is a difference between using just acrylic paints and or acrylic crafters paints, and there's a few of those on the market, quite a few of them, which I intend to try. Actually, I haven't done your eyebrows, so I'm going to do that now. And now I'll get to work as well on my polymer clay babies, get them painted up so they can be listed, and then I'll work on some other kits, which I'm quite looking forward to, actually. But yeah, now that she will be available, and Baby Meadows will be available. I think both of which have got, yeah, they both have COAs, and I just need to finish them up and put them together and photograph them and list them. But if anybody may be interested, feel free to contact me and let me know. Otherwise, I'll just list them on my Etsy shop or wherever. But yeah, I just thought I'd show you, not a sign of any matting at all. And that's what we wanted, and we want that realistic, beautiful skin tone, and you can actually see the mottled effects, but so vaguely, which is exactly what you want. You don't want them to look like they've got measles. Okay, that's it for me.